y'all. Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and y'all, let's get into the drama. Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back, and they are just pushing these interviews out, excerpts, clips of this, and the people are already in the streets windmilling for their lives. We getting back into it. So let's get into it. First things up is this clip of Candaice that popped up. Candaice was on Carlos King's show called Reality with the King, and she talked about the season and everything. So I'm going to play that clip for you guys, and then we're going to get into my thoughts about it.
Gizelle is very flirty with Chris. Ooh. And Chris flirts back with Gizelle. Oh. And this happens in front of me. And it has never given me pause or made me feel threatened in any kind of way, because Chris does not want Gizelle's 50-year-old puss. Why would he want that when he has this? So it also just kind of gave me, okay, this is excess flirtatious energy coming from a woman who doesn't have that at home. This is just something that she does. Gizelle has a history, and there's a reputation there of her being fast. So, I see her flirting with Chris, and it's like, oh, po thing. He may be attracted. She's a beautiful woman. I'm attracted to Gizelle. She's a beautiful woman.
I'm attracted to Gizelle. Gizelle's gorgeous. Okay? Yes, I agree.
Listen, she's beautiful, but a shell is a shell, okay? And shells often have funky insides.
So, here's the thing. I don't like the shot she took at Gizelle's age. Yeah, I get it. That's like an easy read to be like, oh, somebody's old. But I get it. Some people had some issues with her saying that Gizelle and Chris like flirt in front of her face with each other. I didn't take it as it being disrespectful, but I understand how people could take it as it being disrespectful, especially they're like, don't try that in front of me. But here's my thing. I'm friends with people who are big flirts, but we all kind of know, like us as a group of friends, and I know people who aren't my friends, but like we are associates that are big flirts, that even when they're with people, it doesn't go any farther than that, because it's just kind of like, that's just who they are, but we know they don't want to jump that person's bones or anything like that. And I think not Gizelle, but Candaice was also trying to be like, well, if Chris is so inappropriate, why do you engage with him? I think that's what she's trying to prove. Like, my husband's so inappropriate, or he did something so inappropriate, but yet you flirt with him in front of my face, as well as, and you're trying to make it seem like I don't know about it, or that he's doing something sinister or like underhanded towards me, as well as you also laughed off what Smeagol did to those cameramen. So it's like, what's the real issue, ma'am? What's the real issue? I'm gonna let it play out, but like I did a video a while ago, it's been a minute. I feel like this whole situation with Gizelle and Candaice is like, on Gizelle's part, is cap. I feel like Gizelle just needed somebody to beef with again, because she realized that everyone's getting tired of her and Karen beefing, because it's no longer fun to watch anymore. And now her sights are set on to Candaice, but I don't think she understands. Candaice ain't what you want, because I think Candaice has realized all she got on this cast is herself. Like, yeah, she can be cool with Wendy, but these women aren't my friends, so I'm going to move accordingly, which means we're probably going to get a lot more cutthroat Candaice. Like, a lot of people like to be like, Candaice is so like this, and she's so disrespectful. Candaice has been nice. And I think she's also been nice to Gizelle, because she thought Gizelle was really her friend, and she felt like her and Gizelle had like a really good friendship. But she's starting to realize, like, oh, this lady is not my friend, which means I'm gonna come at her neck at any time and always. And I'm here for it. That line at the end where she was like, Gizelle is like a shell, it's pretty to look at, but it's horrible on the insides, or it's gross on the inside. That's a read. I dig it. Okay, if they're gonna give me this type of energy, I want it, I deserve it. I'm down for it. So another clip I'm gonna play is another portion of the actual interview that Candaice had with Carlos King on his podcast, and it's about Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 3. So I'm gonna play that, and then we're gonna talk about it.
Gizelle and I'll just say it did not end well. It did not end well, and yeah, yeah. Didn't end well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did it go with Portia?
You will be surprised. And that in good ways and bad ways. It was a very interesting time with Portia. I don't want to give anything away, but it was an interesting time with Portia. She is something else. But so am I.
Who did you get into it the most on Girls Trip besides Gizelle?
Who did I fuss with more than Gizelle? Probably Portia. Yeah. If I had to say more than Gizelle was the most. But yes, probably if I had to say Portia. But again, I say it was an interesting time because it ebbed and flowed. There was a lot that went on. Like it was 10 days, but it felt like 10 months. There was a lot of evolution and stopping and going and fussing and carrying on that took place.
All right. So to me, what that told me is that Candaice is going to be beefing with with Gizelle and Portia, but she's probably going to make up with Portia to where they have like neutrality and they're like on a, they're good in a sense. They're not friends, but they're good. But she don't have it for Gizelle. And I believe that. I totally believe that. I feel like Gizelle is going to try to poke at Candaice with Portia being there because Gizelle and Portia are cool. And she's going to try to rile Candaice up. And I think Candaice is probably going to play into it. But I think what's going to backfire is once Portia and Gizelle become cool. No, once Portia and Candaice become cool in the sense of like being okay. Like they're not friends, but they're okay to where it's like there's no need for us to continue arguing and beefing with each other. It really seems like Gizelle is probably going to expose herself, just like a lot of people said Dorinda exposed herself on season 2 of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. But I want to see it. So I'm down for the ride. So next is actually a clip from Karen, Miss Karen Hugert. So Karen did a interview, I think it was with E! News, about how she felt this season was going to go. So I'm going to play that for y'all, and then I'm going to give y'all my thoughts.
Season 7, RHOP does not disappoint. It's epic. It's epic, okay? You do not want to miss it. Period. We bring it, and you don't, after watching our successful seasons in the past, you don't think we can up our game, but we do. Yeah. Which is a blessing, and we thank the fans for the love and support and watching us do that and encouraging us to do that. So, yeah, it's epic. Season 7 is fire.
In our marriage, you said that I could have eye candy.
Karen was sneaking out of town with someone that wasn't right.
First of all, let's stress the word rumor. But then I am the grand dame, so, hey. But I'll say it's rumors, and I don't have time for rumors. So, I'm focused on my family. Everyone knows I'm family oriented. I'm into my business. I will say that initially I was saddened to hear Candaice say that, but Candaice came back strong, and I want the viewers to really pay attention to that because that propelled us to a better place. But yeah, I don't listen to rumors. Hey, rumors swirl around me every 5 minutes. I'm about the business. I'm about family, and I'm about just being happy and having fun. And that's what I set out to do this season. Ashley told me herself she was seeking a divorce. And so I was not surprised when it was revealed to the group or to Gizelle. But my thing is to be there for Ashley. Divorce is not easy. I've been through one myself. So I actually am rooting for reconciliation always if it can happen. But if not, I want her to be happy, and I'll be there for her and her sons, to support her. So happiness is all that matters, and especially after getting through the pandemic. After you get through the pandemic, it puts things in perspective.
So here's the thing. Me and the Grand Dame is on the outs right now. I can, it's a give and take with her. Sometimes I'm there for her, sometimes I'm not. But she looked really good in this interview. I'm loving the makeup, I'm loving the hair. She looks very refreshed. I think it's kind of good that her and Candaice are in a better place. But I also think Candaice knows who Karen is and knows how to move accordingly. I'm not believing this divorce story with Ashley. I won't believe it until I see that lady sign on the dotted line. After I saw the clip for what was the clip? The clip for season one, for this upcoming episode, for episode 1, and she's sitting at the table with Uncle Lump and her mom, and the boys are just running around the kitchen table like kids do, being wild and crazy. And she was like, oh, we're buying a house, but like we're gonna put it in the LLC. Ashley is playing stupid for the people, because that's what people think of her. I also can see her playing stupid in the guise of like, maybe that will work better for her in court when it comes to litigation for her divorce with Michael. But she's very much so still trying to hold on to Michael. I don't think they should be together because Michael treats her like a child, but I don't really think Ashley trying to give up on that man. So I really feel like this was a ploy from Ashley to scare Michael in a sense. Do I think it's gonna work? Hell no, but it's good TV. But I think Ashley is trying to show Michael, like, this is what it's going to be like without your family. And I'm like, girl, you already got one divorce. I don't think he is not going to get another one if you keep trying him. But I really don't think they're going to get a divorce. I feel like this is going to be on the lines of like a drawn out divorce on Ashley's part versus Michael's part, because I feel like Michael will sign the dotted line if he feels like it. I honestly think they're taking a break for the show, and Michael's like, I don't want to be on the show right now, so just tell them we're getting a divorce. I think that's what's happening. Legit, I think that's what's happening. So let's get into the excerpt that really had the people going. This excerpt from an interview Gizelle did with Hollywood Life, where she talked about how she had to reevaluate her friendship with Candaice and the whole blowout between Candaice and Monique, and why she feels like her relationship with Candaice is the way it is. So this is what she had to say. What does change my perspective of the whole fallout was I found out later that because, I was very team Candaice about that. Gizelle 52 told us exclusively ahead of season 7, which started October 9th. She didn't appreciate it or care one way or the other. So as a friend of mine, I'm like, wait a minute, I was riding for you and she couldn't care less. Gizelle explains that Candaice lacked appreciation for the support during season 5 was hurtful to the mother of 3. And that made me reevaluate the friendship. She added, Gizelle also confirmed to us that her relationship with Candaice 35 is the worst it's ever been. 100% yeah, with no turnaround, she said. So here's my thing. I call total BS. Like I said, y'all, I call BS. One thing I can give Gizelle is she knows how to play this housewives game. Even though I find her to be a mediocre queen and that I just think Gizelle is mediocre. She knows how to play this game. Gizelle is a strategist, and she also has one of the best poker faces as it pertains to Real Housewives. Like Gizelle, when Gizelle gets into confrontation, she acts like it's waters off a duck's back. Like it does not faze her. She might be hurting on the inside, but she's not gonna let us see it or let the ladies that she's arguing with see it. She gonna go cry in the room or go cry in the car. And that to me, like I said, I think she's mediocre, but that's one of her best qualities is she has a mean poker face. And that's what she's doing now. She's strategizing. She knows that there's a lot of people that don't like Candaice and that are going to ride for Gizelle. And she's trying to put it out there like this is the reason why I don't click with her and why we're at odds. But the truth of the matter is Candaice had Gizelle's back season 5 after Gizelle stood up for her. She even thanked Gizelle for being there for her. And she rode for her at the reunion. Season 6, Gizelle was the one that wasn't a good friend, in my opinion. You're over here, okay, and Mia putting her hands on Candaice, saying that, if she does it, it is what it is. And I was like, that should have been a sign in Candaice's mind that Gizelle is not the friend you think she is. Honestly, like I said, Gizelle is a great strategist. When Monique brought Sherman's ex onto the show, I can guarantee you Gizelle said, oh, I'm going to get this chick off this show because she tried me, because she made me lose a man. As male-centered as Gizelle is when it comes to finding a man, like when her kids say, oh, you're really happy when you have a man, and she lost Sherman, oh, she had it out for Monique. Monique was going down. And when Monique's simple-minded ass decided to put her hands on Candaice, girl, that was Gizelle's ticket to get you out of here. Those theatrics of bringing a bodyguard and having a bodyguard at the reunion, that was her way of letting you know you gone, sis. You gone. And Monique, and why I say Monique is simple is because Monique said she knew about these rumors beforehand and still was trying to buddy up to this lady. But you put hands on the smallest person in the clique and was trying to be friends with the girls who supposedly spreaded those rumors. Simple mind. But it is what it is. I call BS, and I see Candaice call BS as well because she has some things to say on Twitter. So let's get into that. So Candaice decided to say this. She said, let's be honest. You are no one's friend. You come collect a check and you go home to those purple walls. The small part of me that didn't want to believe weren't total garbage woke up when you decided to get creative with my husband. And don't insult my intelligence with this BS victimization that you pulled out of your hind parts at 5 o'clock today. It's as believable as absent your storylines. This is the energy I'm going to need Candaice to keep. Keep this energy. Stay on this lady's neck, because at this point, they're not going to stop coming for you. I need Candaice to be like Kenya when Kenya got on the scene. Did I like Kenya when she first stepped on the scene? Hell no. But if I go back and watch the episodes, like I've seen clips and I have I'm old enough to like understand what's going on now, I can see Kenya knew what the game was, and she came in and she decided, she said, this is going to be where I put my stamp on it. Kenya being the villain has been able to create a space in Real Housewives where she is labeled iconic. Even though people see her as a villain, she's iconic. Kenya is out here doing commercials with Teresa and Kyle for the freaking football season. That is money in her pocket. If Candaice wants to grow her standing in what is it called? The entertainment industry beyond this, I need her to stand in it. I want her to stand in her shade. I want her to come at these ladies and get real cutthroat, because they're going to always come for her. The fractions have already been set. The OGs will always ride for each other. Karen, Gizelle, Robin, and Ashley have been on since season 1, and they will bicker and go back and forth. But after the season has wrapped, we will see them out at lunch, kikiing and laughing and drinking. You won't see nobody else, but they done cussed each other out tooth and nail and fought tooth and nail on the season, but they linking up after the season to figure out what we gonna do next and how we gonna plot on the next ladies. So the 4 of them are always gonna be set. Mia is a fan favorite because she high yellow and people like it, because you can't tell me if Mia was a dark-skinned woman, y'all would go up for her, because the antics that Mia portrays, they are late and tired, but y'all love it and y'all dig it. Mia has that shielding her. Then you have Wendy. The people could give or take about Wendy. Some people love Wendy, some people don't. But then you have Candaice on this island on her own that Wendy visits occasionally. And I'm going to need Candaice to realize ain't none of these women your friend. And keep your head on a swivel, as my daddy would say. Because to me, Wendy switched up too quickly. She switched up too quickly, and I just wouldn't have it for her. I would always look at her, because my thing is like that lady, Karen said that you didn't fit the look of Potomac, allegedly. And as someone who grew up, like spent her like formative years in the DMV area, I don't know what the hell Karen was talking about, because the African immigrant population is heavy in the DMV area. So, and you decided to forego all of those warnings that you have heard from other people to be clicked up with Karen, Wendy. So, no, ma'am, you only switched up because the fans, and I would watch that person. That would be the person I would watch. But let's move on to Mia and her interview she did with Page 6 her giving her reasoning why she threw a drink at Wendy. So, like I said, this interview was with Page Six, and the excerpt says, however, Thornton insisted in the exclusive interview with Page Six that she was provoked during the explosive scene. I would just say sometimes people talk too much, she says, teasing what led to the drink toss. Despite hearing the A Million London CEO is notably remorseful for the dramatic outburst, I do not think that anybody deserves to have a glass thrown in their face. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I have this thing with food and it flying in the air, clearly, she said, acknowledging the salad she slung at Candace Dillard on ROHOP season 6. I call BS. I call BS. Mia doesn't have a reason why she threw that drink at Wendy other than she wanted to have a moment. Clown antics. That is all that this is telling me, because you can't tell me if she had a legitimate reason, like, oh, Wendy was talking about my family. Oh, she was talking about my mother. She was talking about my marriage. She was talking about my, my weight, the way I looked. She would say it. Mia would say it. Mia didn't have nothing to say. Mia wanted a moment, so she threw that drink just like she threw the salad at Candace. Mia doesn't have a reason for the things that she does. She just wants to have a moment. And people somewhat like her personality. Trust me, I was going into this season trying to like Mia because I see certain aspects of Mia that are kind of funny. And I'm like, oh, like she seems like she'd be a good time. But then Mia does stuff that I'm like, oh, she's stupid. Because that's stupid. Like, you don't have a reason why you threw the drink on her. You threw the drink at her because you wanted to have a moment, or you wanted her to be quiet because she was getting the best of you. And for all of y'all who always say that Candace deserves to be like hit, smacked, punched, or whatever because of her slick mouth, then I'm going to need y'all to say the same thing about Mia. Mia deserves a 2-piece and a biscuit to the face for throwing something at somebody, because that has always been y'all's justification why Candace got assaulted by Monique. Is, oh, she threw a drink in her face. Oh, da da da. No, this is onus for somebody to come across that table and whack her in the face real quick. But Mia gets a pass because we know why she gets a pass. And I've said it before. She gets a pass and y'all know why she gets a pass. But it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. It is what it is. So you guys, I'm excited. I'm excited for this Sunday. I'm excited to see what the ladies are going to bring. Like, really, I think it's going to be a good season. There's another YouTuber. Her name is The Brooke Ashley. She posted on her Twitter that she got to see like a preview of the first episode, and she said it was good. And Brooke is a pretty good she's a pretty good meter of whether an episode is good or not. She has great reviews, so you should definitely check her out. And I feel like she's being pretty upfront about, it was good. So she is saying that this season is about to be good. And a lot of people have been saying they feel like this season is about to be an amazing season. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what these ladies are going to bring. I'm excited for the debates and the banter. Now, I don't want people in the streets windmilling, but I'm excited. So that's all I got for y'all. Remember to be bravely authentic, and hop down in them comments below and let me know your thoughts about Candace's interview with Carlos King, Candace versus Gizelle, what the Grand Dame had to say about how the season is going to go, as well as Mia's reasoning for throwing the drink at Wendy. So y'all have a good day, or a good night, or a good morning, wherever you see this. Either way, I hope you're good. Deuces.